So if you look down here, you'll see that I've removed 2 layers of brick. The brick's supposed to be that high, and then here we have some shims. Now I've added this wooden shim here, and I've added 2 there, 2 there, and actually 3 that side. You notice I've taken the brick out and I've cleaned out all of the old mortar and rubble. Here's the bricks. They're all sitting here, quite a lot of them. This was full. All that down there was full. Let me just turn the torch around there, so you can see how damp it is. Like, all that was soil and roots, and there was a wasp's nest, and you can see that it's very, very damp. This end, not too bad. Right? I've taken all the floor up. Currently, we can pretty much see that now it's not so bad under here. I'm clearing the rubble, most of it's gone now, and to be honest with you, it's not so bad along there. I'm going to leave it to dry out for maybe a day or 2, or definitely for the rest of today. I might even put some sort of heater on here just to help it along the way, or a, you know, dehumidifier or something in the room. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let them dry, re-cement, make the wall again, and then I'm going to reapply them shims, which then will make the floor very, very secure. So over here, where it's still loose, can you hear a lot of movement? Here where I've packed the shims, no movement. Them shims are only going to last temporarily. The floor's supported, but the brick isn't. I absolutely can't stand heights. We had a storm the other night, and this was flapping. It was all going. It was quite bad, really. And I came up. I didn't even think twice. I just came straight up. But because it was dark, it wasn't as scary. But it was windy. But I don't like heights.
For the stormy weather, it was like 56 miles an hour.
I know it was 50 odd mile an hour, but it was pitch black, so it wasn't as scary. Like, I didn't have to look around. Whereas obviously here now, it's not so bad because it's wide. But I don't like the heights of being up here. To be honest with you, it feels sturdy enough for me to feel okay, but yeah, I just worry. We're not going to get this chance to be this high up again on the house, so we might as well film while I'm up here and look at the views. If we had a window in the loft, you know them windows that you open and it makes like a balcony you can just step out of, that'd be really nice. I'm going to go film quickly the sun setting. So the sun's setting over there. We've got a south facing garden, so I feel quite lucky with that because the sun comes up over here, spends all day going over, and then sets over there. So the back of the house gets sun all day long, and yeah, this is the nice warm side of the building. This is the nice warm side. It was important when we were looking. Like, I looked at a lot of houses and they were north facing. Our old house was north facing. It was more like northeast, but it was mostly north. What we do is we get sunshine all day at the front, but like the side of the house as well. So the front of the house would always be warm. Sometimes a bit too warm. If I'm trying to wash the car, it'd dry too quickly and things like that. But the back garden, it was always mossy and it was always damp, and it'd never dry properly, and it was quite bad, really. And you'd sit out in the garden, it was cold. So the fact that we're now the opposite to that is so amazing. It was a big thing when I was looking for houses. I found so many nice houses north facing. I was like, no, can't do it. Like, I feel privileged with this one. It's perfect. It's just what we wanted. Is this chimney staying?
I think this one is more going as well.
So I'll put a vent. Well, I've put vents in on internally as well.
Just got vents on the side.
Look at these tiles. These are mismatched tiles. So there's some tiles that have been fixed over time. There's one there, 3 here, 1 here. The thing is, it's old. It's very old. And some are broken, quite a lot are broken actually. Some are bowed, that all needs to be repointed. You can see like a line here of moss where it's sort of, water's run down. That's where we found the leak. It's all It's all going to be replaced. It's all going to be nice and fresh. There's no other roofs that look pretty new, is there, so I can compare? I'd say the only one that you'd be able to compare it to would be that cottage. That looks newest. The tiles that we've had, they're just down there. They're quite big. They're like, I'd say one of them tiles is about 3 of these. So they're going to be about that wide. So a lot bigger. Gonna look nice. Kind of want to keep one. They got stamps on them as well, plats. Ew, that's weird. Ew, feels like oily. Yeah, I kind of want to keep one. You okay there? It's a long way down.
I'm fine.
I'm not. I want to go first in case I panic. It's okay, go down now, I'll be okay. I came up and down the other day, no problem.
Yeah.
Look at all the tiles. It's like a city of tiles. Completely ignore what is going on with my hair today. I have no idea. Probably because I am getting hot in this room. A little bit humid in here, probably dust. So yeah, it's just doing its own little wild thing today. Anyway, wanted to talk to you about where I'm up to with everything. As you can see, I am back at it today. So I did say yesterday that I wanted to talk to you about something. I will get round to that, but for now, I'm very busy and I'm just clearing out under the floor. I think I might have shown you earlier on in the living room, in the main living room, the flooring was dipping when you were standing on it. So you're standing on the side, the floor was dropping down. And we noticed it on the day we moved in. This corner here was the worst part. When you stand on it, I can't show you now because I've kind of body sorted it for now, but yeah, basically you stood in the corner and it dropped. So I did start fixing this, and what I was doing was, for now, I cut up these little shims here and I was putting them under the actual beam just to support it temporarily. However, I've quickly realised that it's a big job that I've got to complete. So what I mean by that is all these bricks along here underneath, they're all loose. The same over that side, they're all loose. And the same under here, all in the middle. So there's 3 walls altogether, 2 chambers, and all the brickwork is loose. So here we are in the middle, and you can see I've removed a few bricks. Here the bricks are, and yeah, they're all somewhat loose, but these ones aren't too bad. Luckily, they're not too bad. I think that one, yeah, that one I can move just slightly. Underweight, they're holding okay. Over this side, they were all loose. There's a pile of bricks there, and that's only from that section to here. You can see down there, there's quite a lot missing. And then the same over here, they're all loose. You can see they're loose just by looking at them. You see all the mortars failed. That one's not even sitting in line anymore. Don't know where that one's even from. But yeah, it all needs to be taken out and rebuilt. That's a job for Wednesday. The reason I say job for Wednesday is because I've exposed it all today here. The other side has been drying out for a couple of days now. This side's fresh. Now, Wednesday is going to be a very warm day. So Wednesday morning, when we get the first sun beating through this room, brickwork is going to dry out. I've cleared the air bricks out. I found another wasp's nest. So under the floor here was another wasp nest, and it was massive. That's gone now. I've hoovered it up. It was a dormant nest, and it was like tissue paper. It was just breaking up. This brickwork is still damp. It's just cold and damp. So I'm gonna leave it all exposed. By Wednesday, when we've got a nice warm day, I can get the cement done, cement all these bricks back in place, re-shim it. I'm gonna be doing a damp proof course, so basically protect it for a longer time, and then hopefully this will be good for another 50 to 100 years. You can see that it's moving. Under there's nothing right now. It's just wood sitting on nothing. And it's the same most of the way along. There's a little bit of slate there, look. This side's got absolutely nothing. It's because I've taken it out, guys. It's not dangerous, it's because I've taken it out. This side's the same, except them 3 shims in there. But them shims aren't gonna last forever. It's only untreated wood. I did it as a temporary job, and then, you know, I thought I might as well just do it properly. The next job I'm doing, I've removed all of this from around the pipework. So I think this is an old electric wire, but I'm leaving that for the electrician for now. I've removed all of this. This is the old insulation that they used to use, but it's all crumbling up, and there's like some sort of sack that was put around it. You can see where it's failed, where that brick there was standing upright. These pipes were resting on top of it. Now, look, it's all oxidized, so the copper's now gone blue. I've cleaned it with a wire wool, and I'm going to go over it a little bit more maybe, just to make sure it's all good. There's no leaks there, it's holding okay, so I think we're good to go with that. But if we do need to replace it down the line, at least there's only a little inspection hole here, and there's the floorboard for it. What I'm currently doing is actually installing this insulation pipe all the way along. You can see that I've done one there, look. That's going to be much better than the one that was in before. That's going to be holding the heat, and it's also going to stop any form of like oxidizing. So that's what I'm currently doing now. I shouldn't be putting my arms down there. I absolutely hate spiders. Looking at that, I think it's a little bit too long. That's why it's bowing in the middle. So, I have to put my arm back under, unfortunately. Where are we? See if I can touch it with something. Let's put the crowbar down there. See if we can get to it. Ah, there we go. There we go. Disgusting. That's all I'm going to say about that. Disgusting. Yeah, that's a great job. That's perfect. Okay, that's the worst part done probably. In fact, no, I'll tell a lie. There's going to be more under here that I need to get to. Don't know how I'm going to get to that. And get this one done at least. It goes right the way along, so shouldn't be too hard because we've got an opening there as well. But the only one I'm actually concerned about is that one. Oh yeah, and it's still covered as well. Look. Still quite a job to do there. And I hate spiders so much. I can't stand them. Luckily all the ones I've seen today have been dead. And I do have a spider catcher over there. It's called a ⴍᴇᴍ wet and dry. That's a crowbar on my foot. This is the easy one. The last of that stuff is off, and I'm just sliding this pipe in, insulation, sorry. That's going right down to the end. That's gonna go right down to the end there. Ah, there we go. There we go. Right in front of the air brick, and then I think it goes straight up there, so that should be good. I'm gonna put one more piece in here, and then we're all done. I took 12 meters, so I've got that tiny bit left, and I've got them two pieces there, and I've got this one, which is probably gonna just take up most of that space. I might be able to use that little piece there, and I've got two extra. So basically, I'm not gonna say I overcooked it because I did take extra, because I felt like I was going to need extra for another room, and you never know, might need extra for here. Okay, solid effort on my part there. These copper pipes are now completely sealed, running right the way along there. I'm going to tidy that one up so that just sits slightly out of line. There we go. And one coming along here, and we've got it running along right the way down. See if I can get underneath there. And then basically this one comes along here, there and up. And then this one runs right the way along and then up. So solid effort there. I think that's going to be sound for this room regarding pipe work. The only thing is, I was considering putting a small radiator on this wall. There's nothing set in stone yet, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to take one of my little wooden shims that I've made and basically just pop it on under here just to hold this up off the brickwork completely. I'll have to do this with 2 hands, guys. I'm gonna put you away. Well, I've got it in now, and that's just supporting that pipe there, keeping it off the brickwork. I need to do the same here as well. They feel like they're not going to have much movement though, so it might just be a little shim just to keep it off that brickwork there. Don't think I've got any thin pieces of wood that I can use though. I did have a plastic shim somewhere, which never mind. I can come back to that in a little bit. But that's where we are, guys. Insulation is done. These floorboards can go back down now. I'm going to carry on taking all this rubble out, and then I've got this little section over here to do. But so far, I think that's a pretty solid effort from me. Time for a quick update. Look at the sky behind. Oh, it's beautiful. It's not super hot right now. It's warm. The sun's nice and warm, but it isn't mega hot. Apparently, tomorrow is going to be a little bit warmer. Apparently Wednesday is going to be like 20 degrees, and that's a good start to get where we want to be. We need some sunshine and we need some sun. And I'm really looking forward to the summer this year in this garden, and especially because of this thing here. I'm just gonna have a quick talk to you about this. We're gonna go inside. I'm gonna show you. As you can see, looking around here, the building has still got a long way to go yet. Now, this is the disappointing thing that I'm going to talk to you about. Got food down there, which I cannot touch actually. There's going to be gluten, and there's a pie. This is what the lads have left. Now, they came to do this on Wednesday last week. It's almost been a week since they've actually been. In 2 days' time, it's going to be Wednesday once again, and then it'll be a whole week since they've last been here. The problem we've got is a lot of miscommunication and a lot of misunderstanding from the company that I've had it from. So I went to this person's house and I directly spoke to the owner, and I said, in messages as well, I've got this in text messages, I said, this building is going to be for a gym, so I need it extra high. A lot of companies that do these buildings don't do them extra high. I needed to find somebody that can help me out with that. I spoke to the owner, Chris, and I said, I need extra height because it's for a gym. And he said, we can accommodate. And here we are, they've done it, sort of. We're not fully there yet. We've still a lot to do. Insulation, finishing touches, all the MDF. This is all gonna be MDF walls in here. So there's a lot of work to do, electrics, everything. They've only done 2 days work. This should have started 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So as you can see, we're a little bit behind schedule. Now, the first night that this building was installed, I came out here with a measuring tape and I measured the height. I was told it's 215 centimeters at the lowest point. Now, it's a pent roof. And if you look, even though it's a pent roof, they've done like wedges. So internally, the roof's flat. That's better. That is much better. It looks better when there's paneling up. It's going to look great. It's going to look amazing with spotlights in. But unfortunately, it's too short. We were told 215 at the lowest point. The building is too short. We wanted extra height. We asked for extra height. We stressed we need extra height. It's for a gym. We can't have it standard height. So I messaged to him and I just said, look, there's been some misunderstanding here. We asked you for extra height. The building's 215 right the way across. I can see that you've done a flat internal roof, which is great. However, it's not what we expected because you didn't explain that to us. They're arguing back that on our quote, there's nothing about extra height. I've got text messages that I sent to Chris saying extra height, extra height. He replied saying, we can accommodate, we can accommodate. I said to him in person, I asked about planning permission. I asked all the questions. He knew we needed extra height. When he's installed it at standard height. He's supplied the lads with standard height. There's been no accommodation, no attempt to make this any higher. They built it at standard height. This turned into a big argument. We were messaging back and forth. In the end, his wife called up, and his wife and Sylvia were having conversation. That conversation then turned into an argument. They were literally arguing with each other. I took the phone from Sylvia because this woman would just not let up. She was arguing and she was getting very patronising. Sylvia's getting worked up. I took the phone, I came outside. Now keep in mind, this was 9:30 at night. They called us at 9:30 at night. So I take over the phone call, I'm outside and I'm saying to the woman, I've got the messages that I've shown back to Chris, explaining to him that we asked for extra height. He said he could accommodate. She came back with, well, you've paid for the base, haven't you? You've had a base built and you've paid for it. Yes, I have. Okay, so if you've paid for the base, why do you expect to get extra height for free? I said, I don't expect to get extra height for free. I asked Chris, he didn't put it in the quote. I assumed that he was going to accommodate as he said. She then came back to say, it's a bespoke building, it's been built to spec. That's the spec that you asked for. There was nothing in there to say extra height. If you wanted extra height, you should have questioned it. So I then came back with, we ordered 16 foot by 12 foot. Now I measured the length of this building and I measured the width of this building. The measurements are 18 foot by 11 3/4. So if this building has been built bespoke to me, why is it 18 foot long and not 16 foot long? I pulled that card out. It's not built to spec, it's obviously the wrong building. She then said, we can come and we can cut 2 foot off the end of it if that makes you feel better. I then said, what about the width? The width needs to be 12 foot. They then said, you'll never get 12 foot because, and they were trying to basically say that all the walls on either side is going to reduce that 12 down to 11 3/4. So why is the width 18 foot? It makes no sense. They said they didn't convert meters to feet, hence why we've had an extra 2 feet added on. Now, I don't know what kind of calculator they've been using or what sort of, I don't know how they've worked out 18 foot out of 16 foot. 16 to 18 foot, you're talking like 4 meters. It's like 4 point something meters. So how they've got 18 foot out of 16 foot when they said that meters and feet weren't changed over on the system. That makes no sense whatsoever. So they're lying to me. 18 foot is this, 16 foot is this. If they'd done 16 meters, it would be like this. I don't understand it. So we're back and forth. I ended up putting the phone down on this woman because she just would not let up. She was argumentative. This is a business owner. Well, she's the wife of the business owner. I even got an intimidation message from her saying, I'm doing everything by law. I've got a 4-year law degree. Anybody in the right mind who's got a 4-year law degree wouldn't say, you're wrong, I'm right, I've got a law degree, you haven't. I basically then got a message to say, we can do the extra height for you, but it's going to cost you £1,750. So I said, we can't afford to pay more. And he said, as a gesture of goodwill, I'll cover the cost of the materials, you pay the labour. He was trying to get another £450 out of me. £450 is £450. It's not a great deal of money in the grand scheme of things. We've paid like 15 grand nearly for that building, so £450 on top isn't a big deal. But it's not about the money, it's the principle. They made the mistakes, I didn't. Out of the goodness of their heart and as a gesture of goodwill, they should be saying, I'm sorry for the inconvenience, we'll come and sort it for you. So they've left us in a bit of a mess. They never turned up the day after. So far they've done 2 days of work and it was 14 days ago when they started. I'm not chasing them. I decided I'm not chasing them. They didn't turn up for work. I didn't message them. I didn't call them. I did nothing. I'm not desperate for them to get it done. I'm certainly not going to pay them the rest of the money until it's done. So whatever. They didn't turn up for work. That looks worse on them than it does on me. Let's then fast forward to the day after, Friday. I got a message on Friday saying, have you had any thoughts on the building? Are you going to pay the extra money? And I said, mate, I'm not paying extra money. We're back and forth again. We're back and forth. In the end, he messaged me. It took him almost an hour to message me back. The message that he sent me was, we're going round in circles. So I said, my response to that was, exactly, we're going round in circles. This is why I put the phone down on your wife the other day. He then messaged me to say, I'll find out on Tuesday when I can fit you back in. Tuesday being tomorrow. He says, we're now back to back, so I'm going to have to delay you again. But one thing I don't seem to understand is, they should have started this job 2 weeks ago. So if they're back to back and they've still got a job outstanding they've not completed, surely they should be now saying, let's get this job done, then we move on to the next one. But they're not doing that, and I know for a fact the reason he's now saying he's going to delay me and push me back is just him licking his wounds. He's caved and he said, okay, we're going to sort it. But because I'm like not stooping to that level of, yeah, you better come sort it quick, I just said, okay, let's get it sorted, done. I'm glad. I didn't say all that, but you know, that's what I'm thinking. And because I didn't stoop to his level and I didn't argue back and I didn't, you know, demand anything. I just said, this is what happened, and you haven't gone through with what you said. He's lost. He's lost that battle. He's lost that argument. But then just to get the knife in a little bit further, he's told me he's going to delay me. This building was already delayed by a week. Even if they came Thursday, they would not have completed this job yet because there's too much to do. They've still got the electrics to fit. They've still got the roof to finish. They've got all the fascias. They've got all the internal stuff to do. They've not done any of it. So he's delaying this on purpose. But I'll tell you one thing. This gate's stiff. Jesus Christ. Who shut this gate? Wow. There we go. Big Sylvia's here, by the way. Sounds like Sylvia. Yeah, it's Sylvia. So yeah, the guy's just being an arsehole. Pretty much the only way I can describe his behaviour right now is that he's being an arsehole. He does not need to delay it more. He needs to get this job completed and move on from it. Wow. Right into the next day. Sylvia? Sylvia's outside. So roofers are busy doing roofing things. We've currently got the back of the house done, and they're working on the side. The side is almost complete. I think they're just putting the corner piece on now. I've reinforced the floor. The floor is now done at that end. That end of the room is done. So can't show you this side because we've put all the stuff over there, but this being the worst bit, not moving now. My chest is full of dust. I've also done the damp proof course, which is basically this material sitting between the timber and the brick, and that stops any moisture getting into the timber. So we're very, very much prepared now for the damp. I've cleaned under the floor, all the rubble's gone, and I've done the damp proof course and I've reinforced it. If you look here, you'll notice there's 5 screws there. It's a reinforced area. What I've done is this beam, although was slightly rotten underneath, is still structurally pretty hard. So what I did is I attached either side of it with 2 like sort of 2x4s, screwed massive screws, 3 of them straight the way through, so they're holding both pieces of wood in place. So this screw is holding the floor into that main beam, and these 2 are on the support beams either side. So it's nice and solid now. I mean, there's slight bounce, but only minimal, not like it was before, but I think that's normal because it is currently just a hard floor. So that looks like a little face there, look. Looks like a goat. The goat, his nose, his little mouthpiece, and then his 2 eyes. As you can see there, I've already started removing the fireplace. We did have the big wooden surround, which is currently outside, and I'm just going to start taking this marble. It's like a fake marble, it's not real. If you want it, it's going to be outside my house for the next few days, but you don't know where I live, so you can't have it. It's going to go in the skip otherwise, unless somebody takes it. But yeah, just wanted to show you that when I'm removing it, it looks like a secret door to a secret labyrinth. Watch this. Once you've said the secret words, which I've already done, so I don't need to do it again. And then you can go through to the secret chamber. And here is inside the secret chamber. This is the old wallpaper that, rather than take it down, they decided we're just gonna plasterboard over it. So we've got a whole section of plasterboarding to do here. What a nightmare, what a mess. But we're getting somewhere, guys. There is progress, there is progress.